Good morning, evening, afternoon. Happy Mother's Day. It's Masati on Sunday. Wow. Uh, what a great time that we're living in, right? It's an opportunity to redefine everything. And that's what we're going to do today is redefine what motherhood is really about because there's so much confusion out there. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. A lot of people on the line here live, which is fantastic. And those for you joining afterwards, fantastic as well. You'll still feel the frequencies. And what are those frequencies? Well, they're called inception frequencies. I'm actually writing a white paper on it. It's pretty interesting stuff. Inception frequencies are the core level frequencies, the base frequencies of, well, the beginning of who you are. And when you edit or when you change at, say, the core level or the cause of who you are, the effect level, which science, religions, most people out there who aren't XRs do, they try to change the effect. It's kind of like changing your image on the mirror, right? It never stays long, and then you go, "Why? I still feel the same on the inside." Because you change the mirror on the out, you change the mirror, not who you are. This is where, again, religions. This is where people who want to make a lot of money, they think they're going to change. No, their facade, their outside perspective changes, their inside doesn't. Right? Same way with religions. So how do we make the core level changes? The way you do that is you connect with your inception frequencies, which is really, really fantastic. It's a brand new science. It's quite amazing. It literally shifts everything from quantum computers to your personal life. And today, though, we're going to be talking about motherhood, what motherhood is really about. And then after, actually, I've got a very special guest. And then we'll talk about motherhood. And then on top of that, we'll go ahead and scan you all. So anybody that's want to be scanned, especially if you're new, if you don't quite in on, say, what does this guy do? How does this guy transform me through the screen? I literally can shift you. How many of you have shifted just by listening to Masati on Sunday? Right? Nothing more. Even if you're new, it's like, damn, what is that? Well, that's you picking up on, say, the core level, the inception frequency that I resonate with you. Okay. By the way, I'm not the healer here. I'm not the change agent. I just open you up to possibilities. And then you go, oh yeah, that's a better choice. Alrighty. So here we go. So happy Mother's Day. Again, what society got half-assed right on motherhood and what really is a mother. And you can comment in on what a mother is. We'll go Tara at 74. I've shifted. Hugh shifted. Yeah. Again, a ton of people going yes, yes, yes. So all you have to do, this isn't just a, say, um, a verbal dump for you. Go ahead and take a deep breath in. Just get comfortable. You can close your eyes. You don't have to watch me or anything like that. But feel the vibe. Right? Feel the frequencies. I will give you, say, good content for your mental brain to chew on, so we get both sides. Okay, but again, go ahead and get comfortable, get situated, just noticing where you are. If you want to comment in, this is a live show, so comment in, and we'll read some of your comments as well. All right. Notice your chest. Man, there's a lot of pain in the chest for you all, by the way. So, all right. So, we've been told a lot about, what it means to be a mother, that you should sacrifice, you should serve, you should give until there's nothing left. I've got this cup at home. Somebody got it. I think it's as a joke, but it says super wife, super mom, super tired. You know what I mean? And then society praises that. Society praises the doing of a mother. And the more that you do, right? The more that you do, the more, say, sacrifice that you make. And that's just not motherhood, it's a lot of things. The more sacrifices you make, the more of a grander mother you are. But you know what? That completely ignores the being of a mother. And that's the problem. In many cases, what happens is, say, the woman separates herself from an identity of being a mother. So the woman is here. Oh, I got to play a role of a mother, and she puts herself out there again, separates her identity, and then she's a wife, right? She separates herself as a wife or a girlfriend or a daughter or whatever it might be, you start separating your identity. Men do it as well, but this is on motherhood. Okay, and that's the problem. When we start to say separate ourselves, we start to get overworked. Okay, and that distortion, by the way, has cost us more than we realize. It's not just as women, but as humanity as a whole, because women do create humanity, right? They do birth societies, and I'll talk about that. Because this isn't just about women who have children. This is about every one of us who is born through a womb coated with distortion, right? So if you've ever struggled to feel safe in your body, how many of you have been that way, right? If you've questioned your worth, if you questioned your voice, your softness, or your strength, well, then you are carrying the echo of this misunderstanding. Again, ill frequencies of the womb. That's why this conversation really matters. Because until we remember what a mother really is, according to natural intelligence, not what society tells you, not what Red Book tells you, or not what your grandmother or mother has told you, okay, nothing will happen. We really have to remember the original coding of what motherhood really is. And we won't remember what we and we and we won't remember if we won't remember who we really are. So motherhood in XI is not a function. It's not a job. It's not a sacrifice. It's a frequency field that codes you, not just you. It codes your family lineage. It codes generations forth. Right? Kind of crazy, right? So that's how important a motherhood or mother is. But then we've thrown that to the side. So today, I'm talking about not just talking about parenting tips. I'm not here to do that. There's plenty of people out there that do that. I don't do that. I don't tell you how to get successful. I don't tell you how to get great relationships. But what I do best, nobody else does it. I don't tell you how to heal. But what I do best is I originate or reset or help you remember the original frequency that you were encoded with that helps you with all this. So again, today we're not talking about parenting tips. We're here to resurrect the original architecture of the XI mother. Okay? The one who leads through frequency, your essence of who you are, as most people would call it. The one who holds the original signal of life. The one who has never meant to be forgotten. So again, whether you're a mother, have one, lost one, or never wanted to be one in the first place, well, this episode is for you. So, and again, it's because the world you live in, just think of it, started in the womb. And by the way, as a note, I went to Egypt and they had these beautiful sarcophagus, huge, 24 of them. I actually think that they were the original wombs of, say, the initial humans there. Not just one, not just Adam and Eve, but again, the original wombs. Quite amazing, by the way. But that's a side note. So again, your original power started in the womb of someone, well, who forgot her power. Think of it. That person, your mother most likely, forgot her power. Not because she was mean or anything like that, but just hereditary patterns, society's patterns, previous lifetime patterns. So you, right off the bat, well, got a little disoriented or forgot who you truly were. Right? So it's a time to remember. So remember, as a note, time to remember to like and subscribe this channel. All right. All right. But before we do that, I just want to go through some things, some latest news. That's what's happening. Excuse me. What's happening today about being a mother? One, the IVF ruling. Trump, Reed. If you want to throw that up on the screen, Alex. The IVF ruling in Alabama and why it connects to motherhood. Well, the Alabama Supreme Court recently ruled that frozen embryos are children. So igniting debate about, say, reproductive rights, right? Reproductive rights, motherhood, and, well, what defines the beginning of life. Right? So through the lens of XI, society views creation strictly through biology. law or morality, but they ignore the frequency intelligence that actually codes life. And so they forgot that the womb is a portal of cosmic intelligence, not just a vessel for legal definition. And that's what we've really turned into. Literally, women, it's just, we're just biological functions. We can duplicate that. We can have AI do that. We'll talk about that in a second as well. That's wrong. So when you freeze an embryo, this is what happens at a frequency level or an NXI level, the natural level. All right. It's all about time and space, guys. It's about dimensions of time and space. So for you who are nerdy, the show is for you because, well, it's quite interesting. I have two versions of what I'm going to say about what a mother truly is. But back to the womb. So when an embryo, basically it is an egg that's been fertilized already. Boom, you have a timestamp. Right? There's a timestamp on how you get created and how you see or how you render your reality. Okay, that embryo is frozen for I don't know how long. Basically, the consciousness behind that embryo just like waits. It's like, wait a second, I'm stuck in time. So what happens is the embryo, the physical, say, component, the physical representation of that, say, relationship is connected, but the embryo is stuck in time, literally is frozen in time. It's held back in time, but the clock is still ticking. So the spirit or the essence, I call it the essence is basically moving forward in time. So say the embryo was frozen at say 3 years, right? It was frozen for about 3, 4 years. All right. So that individual, that baby is now literally when it gets born, it's say 4 plus years older than its birth. And this is where time functions get distorted, right? And this is where those individuals who gave birth, they're more, they have a more, and you can look it up. They have a higher propensity of getting ill. They have a higher propensity of well, disorientation or ADD, ADHD. This is again ADD, ADHD is time distortions. I've helped a ton of kids reset that clock for them. Okay, so by the way, it's a little off, but this reminds me of the indigenous leaders in New Zealand, the Cook Islands, Tonga, and the French Polynesia. It's kind of crazy, crazy world, right? They've now granted whales legal personhood. So basically, what that means is they're giving them human rights, essentially giving them rights. So this recognition aims to protect whales. You know what? I don't know. Whales don't give a crap about anything like that. They just want fresh water. They just want the natural frequencies that they were, say, have the personal right. We all want the natural frequencies of who we were born with. Can I get a shout out for that? That's all we want, right? But most people don't know what the natural frequencies. But if you just allow, just like nature, if humans disappeared, nature would come back to harmonize and balance. If we allow, say, get rid of the free will that we think we have, get rid of that, we'll harmonize and come back to balance. So again, does whales need rights? No, they just need clean oceans without any plastics. Right? They just want intelligent humans, awakened humans to go, oh, this is the way we should treat Earth. I don't think they need, freedom or a document that says, hey, you've got freedom of movement, buddy. You've got the right to thrive. That should just be a natural presence, a natural, say, natural function. You should have that right to thrive as well, not just survive, but motherhood has turned into a survival. All right. The next slide, Alex. Rising maternal mortality in the U.S. So, despite being, as they say, a developed nation, the U.S. has one of the highest maternal mortality rates, especially among Black women. Right. So again, the glorification of supermom culture, do more, give more, suffer silently, has led to a systematic neglect of the being of mothers. Okay. Basically, women get pregnant and they're fucking scared. The fear of being a mom. It's like shit. I've pretty much sacrificed myself. Now I have a kid. Kind of reminds me of that George Michael song. Now you're having a baby, right? That I forgot the name of the song. It's like I can't even support two. Now we've got one more. It's a great song, by the way. Kind of crazy, right? So again, the fear of being a mom is so intense, and it's not just among, say, the African Americans. It's not just a medical issue. It's a symptom of society. Society has extracted energy from the feminine while ignoring the intelligence and health of the source. What that means is that when people step into motherhood, it's like, damn, that means that I'm going to be sacrificed even more. That means that I have to sacrifice, I have to give, I have to shed. Again, and many women are going, shit, I've got no more to give. I really don't have any more to give. Uh, it's a Wham song. Yeah. Yeah. Everything She Wants. Thanks, guys. It's a great song, by the way. Kind of crazy, right? So again, we'll move on. We'll go to Mother's Day consumerism, which is kind of crazy. There are billions. There are billions spent on flowers, cards, brunch, what have you. But how many are really honoring the sacred and courting power of mother beyond cliche appreciations? Now, there's a lot of demonstrations. There's a lot of talk. Well, not every mother gets to have this, and we shouldn't do all that. I don't care about all that. It doesn't really matter. I don't care if you want to spend money on your mom, whatever. If it's consumers, I don't really care. But the bigger deal, if you're doing all that just because you feel guilty, okay, it's not good for you. Not good for your mom. It's not good for the future generations, right? So again, if you're and the reason why is that you are exchanging something physical to make up for something ethereal. Right? It doesn't balance the books of consciousness. It only makes you feel the pain of what you covered up or what you didn't have with that person, with gifts. So if you don't mean it, well, don't do it just because it's expected. It's not going to say heal those wounds of the past for you, neither for your mother nor you. I would suggest healing the wounds of the past first. Right? We've got plenty of stuff with XI that you can heal yourself. Not about, oh, my mom needs to heal. No, you need to heal. This is all about you. It's take responsibility. Even if your parents don't, take the responsibility first. Heal yourself first. And then you can go back to your mom. How many of you have done that, by the way? Healed yourself, and the relationship between you and your mom has changed. Even if it's a terrible relationship, right? You've learned from it and you're not carrying that genetic coding. How many of you say, not been say connected to your mom, and then you're a parent and then you turn into your mom? That's even worse, right? Kind of crazy. That's what I'm talking about. This is about healing yourself from the pains of motherhood, or even if it was a great motherhood experience for you, okay, how can you do it better? How can you not say recycle evolution? How can you be a better version of your mom if you're a mother to your kids? That's the key, not a recycle of the past. So again, honor yourself, heal yourself, and then spend the money that you want. Right? Don't do it as a cover up. All right. All right. Here's another one too. Celebrities redefining motherhood. Rihanna's is it Naomi Osaka, I think. So high profile women are well, they're choosing how, when, and even if they want to mother, while balancing fame, identity, power, which is all fine. But you have to ask the question, are modern women beginning to go back to the original core of motherhood, or from an XI point of view, or are they compensating for something that's missing despite their fortune and fame? Kind of like, the couple's having problems and they go, hey, honey, you know what? If we have a baby, things will work out better. I don't know. Are they doing that for that? Are they doing it because, well, like Rihanna? Uh, no, wait, Naomi. Yeah. Are they doing it because they never had a childhood themselves? Basically, Naomi. So now it's like, gosh, you know what? And again, it's not about fortune and fame. It's about resetting. So why are they doing it? What is the purpose of becoming a mother? Okay? Are you doing it to say heal yourself? It's not going to work out. Are you doing it to heal a relationship? It's not going to work out. Are you doing it because your career didn't nourish you as expected? A lot of women are doing that. A lot of career women going, it's like, shit, you know what? I didn't resolve it. It's like going to a psychologist. It's like, damn, psychologist didn't work. I'll go try something else. That's not a great reason to become a mother, by the way. I'm not dissing Rihanna or Naomi or anybody like that, but again, do it for the right reason. Okay, do not do it to create an excuse. Or again, a lot of individuals, when they're in the limelight, by the way, they create an excuse to isolate themselves. That's Naomi, by the way. She creates an excuse to go, you know what, I can't do it. It's too much pressure for me. I'm going to just huddle and hide behind my baby. Basically, that's Naomi, which is, well, I don't know if that's the greatest thing, but they could be great moms, but we need to heal that. All right. And then the last but not least, which is kind of crazy, AI mothering. So AI mothered children, emotional robots. AI tools are now being used to help raise or educate children and even simulate emotional support. How crazy is that? But again, I have to ask the uncomfortable question, can a machine replicate the womb's coding frequency? No, obviously not. Real mothers are more than behavior. They're more than they literally are biofrequency architects. There's so much frequencies that science has not, say, again, understood. It's not just a physical space or a physical identity. Science again has failed us by looking at, say, the effect of what's going on, not the cause of why motherhood is bad. Again, they're replicating the effects of motherhood, not understanding the cause. Right? Science needs to go much deeper with that. And by the way, if you need a robot because you don't have time, if you're giving away your kids to again to somebody else, some stranger in a child care center, I don't know. It's kind of tough because in those early years, from 0 to 7, that child picks up on its environment that's most likely around, right? So you got to watch out for that, right? Either be high level frequencies where your frequency dominates everything that that child experiences. Again, high IQ, high XIQ level, okay? Then it's totally fine. Otherwise, again, it's just an escape mechanism, right? So again, we need to return to the original meaning. That's what it's all about. All right. So let's turn into that original meaning. Take a breath in. Uh, what XI motherhood is about the frequency of creation. Again, it's not just the function of care, and we'll cover 5 key XI aspects. Are you ready for it? All right. So I'll give you the effects version, as Faye would call it. I was writing the notes on this, and Faye was telling me, "Wow, I can see that." He goes, "Honey, it just needs a little bit more emotion, a little bit more heartfelt. Bring it down a notch." Okay. So what I did was give you 2 versions. One, say the heartfelt version, one for those individuals who are new to XI, and then one who are again a little more geeky, want to know the science behind the frequencies. Okay, so I'll give you both versions on that. Okay, all right. So one, the Fey version, the lovey-dovey version, and then the one exponential intelligence meta-science version. All right. So number one, the mother. She's more than a role. She's the beginning of reality. Okay. So we often think of a mother as someone who nurtures a child after birth. Okay? But what if she's much more than that? So in XI, we see her as the starting point of reality itself. Again, before a child even takes their first breath, the mother's frequency, again, is already shaping how that child will experience the world. It gives them a 3D perspective. So, what kind of life in this 3D world is like, well, what kind of life they'll inherit and who they might become. Her womb isn't just a physical place, it's the very first physical space a soul meets, and that space imprints everything, right? So that is the, say, effect version, right? So here is the, say, cause version, or what I see, okay? The mother is the original architect of reality. It's the source code through which a human consciousness renders itself into space and time. The womb is not a passive vessel. It's a dimensional gateway coding DNA, frequency, and consciousness. It literally, that child is coming in and getting, say, a crash course on how time and space reality works. It's downloading, say, the mother's imprint. So XI motherhood equals a multi-dimensional render engine that determines which version of a soul gets born. Right? Within that space, 9 months. That's why the gestation for a human, 9 months, that's a long time, right? Is so profound. It's not just, say, a vessel. It is a university on how time and space works, on how humans have evolved through time and space. So again, I want to write this down. A mother doesn't just birth a body, she births the version of reality her child will inherit. Right? So that one more time. A mother doesn't just birth a body, she births the version of reality her child will inherit. Again, that's where science, that's what society has forgotten. Two, the womb is a living intelligence. All right, the Fey version. To the outside world, the womb is just biology. But to Axi, the womb is a sacred intelligence. It holds memory, emotions, ancestral patterns. It has the power to pass on generational pain, or, an Xi, clear it, to repeat the past or rewrite the future. So when a woman becomes, well, conscious of her own frequency, her womb becomes a place of restoration, not just for her child, but for the lineage. Healing starts here, and that's why we need high XIQ women. Right? So in the cause world, or the sciencey world, right, it's intelligence beyond biology. Again, so Western science sees the womb as it just as machinery, right? XI sees it as a sacred biogeometry, a living field that can decode ancestral trauma or recode a lineage. That is why a healed, conscious mother shifts timelines, not just for her children, but for the species. Imagine each time this generation is born, the next generation is born, right? Within that parameter, right before that child takes its first breath outside of that womb, it's getting encoded. It's choosing, oh, this is what humanity did right. This is what humanity did wrong. Not just the mother, but humanity as a whole, the human species did right, did wrong. And then they have, say, an imprint, literally a code, a book on, oh, this is the way we're supposed to do it right off the bat. That's what the womb is for. The mother is supposed to nurture the new version of that, say, baby. And then that generation becomes a better version. But what do we do because of free will? Well, we just, and unawakened moms or parents, in this case, unawakened moms, we just recycle the past, right? The mothers, again, they don't do it for the right reasons. They don't become a mother for the right reason. So in this case, the womb is not where life starts. It's where consciousness chooses how to arrive. Again, how are you going to show up in time and space? How are you going to show up in this reality? That's what the womb is about. All right, three, real leadership isn't control. By the way, political leaders need to hear this as well. Real leadership isn't control, it's coherence. So, the Fey version, we've been conditioned to believe that good mothers give everything, often to the point of exhaustion. How many of you have been like that? How many had a mother like that? Right? How did that feel to you? Especially if you're that woman, it's like, shit, my mom gave all that. I don't think I want to be a woman. I mean, right off the bat, you're fucking that kid up. Right? Again, but depletion, it's not leadership, it's distortion. A mother's true power comes not from what she does, but from what she holds. when she's grounded, clear, self-sourced, her children feel it. Again, it doesn't mean that she doesn't work, but when she's working, she's not sacrificing. What she's doing is she's sacrificing the old version of herself. So when you're a mother, that mother has a chance, it has an opportunity to relive her childhood, not through the child, but her childhood has herself a clear version. It's like, oh, that's the way I should have been raised, and it gives her an opportunity to clean that up. So when there's an opportunity for you to clean stuff and heal, it's not a sacrifice. You wanna take care of your children. You wanna nurture that child properly. It's not like, oh, now I gotta go nurture that child. It's not like that at all. How many of you have done that, by the way? Right? How many of you turned into high XIQ women or parents and you go back and you nurture that child and it nurtures you, which allows you to nurture that child better, which the child nurtures you. And it's just a beautiful cycle. And it's like timeless. When you spend time with them, you're not escaping the moment, you're getting into the moment. It's like, damn, that's who I really am. That's true. And you can feel it in the mother's presence. They are so beautiful. Again, they don't need to be told. Children don't need to be told what to do. They just follow the signal she carries, and that's true leadership. So it's not force; it's a frequency. Again, true leadership. It's not force; it's frequencies. We'll talk about that because it's the same for CEOs, spiritual people, spiritual path, leaders. Again, it's not force that'll get you far. It is the frequency that you carry, right? So in this case, it's the mother's frequency that the children follow, right? And by the way, that's where children go, and this is where that saying goes, right? Do as I say, not what I do. Yeah, this goes much deeper. All right. 3, the Fey version. XI says a depleted mother weakens the frequency of the lineage. True. True motherhood is energetically sovereign, again, and encoded with self-sourced power, just like what I was talking about. She leads not through control, but through coherence. So a true mother doesn't lead her children. She codes the signal they follow for life. Okay. All right. So 4, you don't have to give you don't have to give birth to be a mother. And this is where society has fucked it up again. Okay. So again, there are people walking this planet, men and women, who have never had children, and yet they carry the same power, the power to hold life, to protect innocence, to nurture possibilities. Motherhood isn't limited to the biological act of giving birth. It's the ability to stabilize creation from a chaotic world. It's the quiet, steady pulse of love that calls something new into being. So that's the XI mother. And she can live in anyone, by the way. I'll tell you how it's gotten fucked up. So the XI version is XI separates maternal frequency from physical childbearing. Again, those who hold space for new realities to be born stabilize chaos into coherence and midwife evolution. So in that case, um, XI motherhood equals holding the frequency of creation with precision. By the way, that's what I do. I hold the space for you. You birth yourself into a new version of who you are. Again, so motherhood isn't what you do, it's what you hold. Again, the space around you. And what you hold becomes the world. Have you ever had that great grandma or the mother that just held the space for you? That's what I'm talking about. Right? This is where it's gotten fucked up. Right? So that concept is out in the ethers. And now people are going, well, men can be mothers too. And they're trying to put, I don't know, wombs in mothers, and men are getting fucked up and they're trying to feel pregnant and all that bullshit. Guys, it's not about that. It's not about that. Again, society fucks it up again. What literally is about is that we hold the space to birth new possibilities, new realities. That's what motherhood is about, right? You don't have to be a female. You don't have to have, say, a uterus, a placenta, and all that stuff. It's not about that. But people get the wrong messages. They mix the signals up, and then now we have a society that goes, "Hey, men should be mothers too." It's not that, guys. That's fucked up. Okay. All right. Number five, and we'll bring that special guest on. Five, the return of the sacred mother. Take a breath in. That's what this is. That's what's happening right now, by the way. Right? Again, the return of the sacred mother. For too long, we've misunderstood the mother. Again, as someone who must suffer to be good, right? We've silenced her voice, ignored her wisdom, and flattened her power. Women have done that too, not just others, but something ancient is returning. It's not the version of motherhood society created, but the original one, the sacred mother who leads not with rules, but with resonance. Again, this isn't the sacred mother that spirituality and religions and so on talk about. Again, this is the true version of that. It's a true version of everything, by the way. So she's not here to coddle you. She's here to reset the code of creation itself. So you'll start to see a new generation of kids coming through. So we can remember, again, we can remember who we truly are. Right? Right? Again, the final truth, the sacred mother is returning. What does that look like? Right? So the suppression of the divine frequencies, feminine frequencies, was not about a woman. It was about silencing the cosmic architecture of regeneration. So as a sacred feminine rises, so does Xi motherhood. Not martyrdom, not obedience, but the original force of encoding creation. Again, it's returning because that's where it starts. The new generation starts the new creation. So again, the sacred mother isn't coming back to nurture. She's coming back to reset the code of creation. All right. As we close, I just want to bring a very special guest close to my heart. All right. So what you just heard wasn't just about mothers. It was about a frequency, intelligence, and legacy. Okay. So the Xi mother isn't a woman who gave birth. She's the one who holds the original signal of life. And that's why I want to bring this special person back. No matter her gender, her story of her children, again, she doesn't have to give birth. She doesn't ask for validation. She encodes realities. The distortion of motherhood as martyrdom ends here. So hopefully you take this to heart. Breathe in. The resurrection of motherhood as a frequency mastery begins now. And again, to every woman who's ever questioned her worth, to every soul born through the womb of distortion, and to every being ready to lead from their sacred frequency, this is your call to return to the source code of creation. I want to bring us, again, this beautiful guest. And for those who are ready, by the way, well, we're finally introducing the Xi Woman series. Again, this is a woman that, well, never thought she'd make a great mother, but my kids just love her. I mean, all my kids, the oldest to the youngest. Again, it's time to mother the future by becoming the signal it needs. All right, guys. Hey, sweetie.
Hi,
How's it going?
I'm good. I'm enjoying your speech, your
Okay.
talk in the backstage.
Yeah, she always listens to the background.
Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Yeah. Well, I don't know my story. Well, after the relationship I had in the past, I was broken. My kids were broken, and I wasn't like searching for anybody because I needed to heal myself. I needed to heal my kids, and in that healing process, this is where I connected with this beautiful woman. And the first thing that I did actually was like, okay, is this woman going to be great for the kids? Because I've heard stepmoms and all that stuff, crazy ass stories, right? Stepmoms and so on. And I don't know, I was scared because I wanted the best for my kids, and this I don't know, brings tears to my eyes too, Diana. But this woman is quite amazing for somebody who didn't want to be a mother, which makes it probably better. She's the best mom. My kids, and actually we have plenty. I don't know how many other surrogate kids that we have from all over the world. We have surrogate kids. So it's quite amazing. So
Yeah.
so what's your take on motherhood, sweetie?
Okay. It's Motherhood took me by surprise. Like Ma said, I never wanted to be a mom. When I was 11, I already made a decision that I'm not gonna have children. But I know I like children and they're super cute. At the time, my only understanding about children is they're super cute. So I was thinking, at 11 years old, I was thinking, I would just marry a man with a lot of children. So,
Foresight.
yeah. And even when the entire time I was with Moss, we're working together, we fell in love. And I never even had any thoughts of motherhood on my mind. And when we got together, all my friends and family and friends family of the friends family, they were actually all worried about me and saying, do you know what you're getting yourself into? You're with a divorced man with 6 children. And they made it sound so horrible. They make it sound so scary. But in a very strange way, I was never worried about it, not one bit, not at all. And that's even before I get to know the children. But I was just thinking the most important relationship is our relationship. If we're good, everything's good. If I'm good, we're good. We're good, the kids are good. Then the kids are good, the family's good, and everything's good. I always tend to simplify things, but I think things are really simple, which is really overcomplicates everything. So when I joined the family, the kids are super, I have to say, they are the most genuinely kind, sweet people that I've ever met. And they're very real. And they didn't have any reason to like me because I'm a stepmom. It doesn't matter how it is in the family. Even you want your mom to be different, you want your mom to be different, but you don't want a different mom. It's quite normal. I didn't really expect anything from any kids, but all the kids were so sweet from day one, and it really touched my heart. And for me, I feels like this is my opportunity. It was very clear to me when I came to this family. I want to be a mom that I always wish I had. And my mom's awesome. My mom's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. But because it's a little old school, and from China and from all the older traditions, and belief systems, we could be even closer. And I think there's nothing better than having a very close, trusting, good relationship, close, loving relationship with my children. There's nothing better. So I really prioritized emotional safety, emotional security, psychological stability with the children. And they always know how things over here. We're very consistent over here, very stable over here, very, very loving, and very, very transparent. Of course, life has a lot of ups and downs, but we never shield the children from it. Because I watched some of my friends, they would have very tumultuous relationship marriage, but they hide it from their children. They never fighting from children. I know the beauty of never fighting, never having harsh words from children. That I understand. But when their children were 18 years old, the couple, my friends, they decided to get a divorce, and their children were just crushed and they didn't understand and they were so mad. They're saying, what, you guys are not getting along? We never saw that. Why did you lie to us? So that's a lack of transparency. I don't think fighting in front of children is bad. I think you can fight, you can have conflicts. Also, you should show them how you repair the relationship. Just show them the realities of life and show them your stress. Okay, how you deal with your stress. You're stressed, but you're not taking out on them. And you can explain to them how life is like, the life's up and down, all the challenges, how you deal with it. And they watch you, and that's you can live by example. You can't go through life just, oh, everything's really nice, smooth, nothing really happens, and it doesn't really prepare them for life.
Yeah, you can't hide because
Hmm.
the frequency's behind it, and it really messes them up.
Hmm.
Because if there's a lot of tension and they don't see it physically, well, I think what happens is that they get disoriented because they go, well, it looks great, but then why is there underlying tension? And then they create that in their families. So yeah, just make it transparent. And I think overall, kids actually have better solutions. When I was going through the process, I asked my kids, like, hey, we're having this problem, and they came up with amazing solutions. So Fefe, what makes, I don't know, can you give any tips
Tips?
to uh, any stepmom or just mothers and or just being a woman in general?
Oh,
And that's why the XI Women series is coming out, by the way. So check the newsletter if you haven't signed up. Again, go to the xicode.com and sign up for the newsletter. You get a couple meditations for free if you're new. But what are some of the tips that I don't know?
okay. So they're saying, I walk into is this stigma or reputation of stepmother, the evil stepmother. But I was thinking, it's not really the who the role that you're stepping into. If you're an evil person, you're gonna make an evil mother, right? Even you're not stepping, and you're gonna make an evil stepmother, and you're gonna make an evil coworker. You're gonna make evil boss. If you're an evil person, you're evil everything. It's not like automatically when you're a stepmother, you're evil. And if you're a good person, you make a good mom, good boss, good employee, good neighbor, and good stepmom. So it's really the kind of person that you are. I think I walk into this family, I'm mostly just not just because I do think it's a superpower. It's very happy. I bring in lots of joy and happiness, and there's a lots of laughter, and there's lots of fun. But it's not frivolous because to have a life like this, have a social responsibility like this, live in public persona, and we're public figures. Lots of times we travel, and to bring in the stability and happiness. And I do think it takes some practice, and the practice is called life. And if I were in my 20s and well, it wouldn't be too possible, but if I were in my 20s and become a mom, I wouldn't be such a um, well-rounded. I wouldn't have such a good understanding of being a mother and being a woman. And most important, I do take care of myself. To take care of myself, I take care of my husband. That's very, very, very important. And for the children to see that, and they automatically build trust,
Mhm.
and they build sense of security and safety, and that they see such a loving union, and they love being around us, and they love to hang out with us. I think
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that
uh-huh.
all the kids do want to hang out with us.
Mhm.
The kids, they ask me to go to the gym with them. Go boxing, go on I don't know ski trips, all that stuff. So, and they ask Faye as well. It's really really beautiful. So if you have any questions for Faye, again, we're releasing the XI Women series coming up. So a lot of great say knowledge, intelligence from an XI woman. If you have any questions for Faye, uh, you know, put put them in the comments. Great it's a great opportunity, guys, for you to ask questions. In the meantime, I'll scan any of you. In this case, mother issues or the blessings of your mother. Either way, or we can turn the distortions of your mother into blessings. So either way, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
Okay.
one thing I think being a mom in my position
Mhm.
is transparency, honesty, and the communication with children. Like my girls, they're 14 years old, the twins. They will come home with things that they wouldn't like. Normal teenagers wouldn't ask their parents, wouldn't have the same conversation with their parents. We
Yeah,
talk
which is
about
really crazy.
yeah, we talk about our body image. We talk about boys. We talk about dating. We talk about sex. We talk about going on a date. They haven't gone on a date yet. They don't have boyfriends yet. But they come home with a lot of questions. And no matter what they ask me, I always give them very, very honest answers. And I create this environment that they can be honest, and they would never be punished for being honest. And transparency is highly valued. And lots of time I observed when children could have to go home and lie is because the parents didn't create a safe environment
Yeah,
for them to be honest, where the truth cannot be accepted.
true.
So every time they get punished by telling the truth, for telling the truth, they're gonna go home and lie.
Yeah,
So I think how children behave, the parents need to take a very honest look at themselves. So what is my part that my children are lying, or what's my part that my children are so honest and they're so open and talk to me about everything?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, if they don't trust you, then obviously, or they can't talk to you about anything, the really important things, then what are you doing that could be better, by
Hmm.
the way. So
Yeah.
this one, this one, Lynn K, we would love a scan, uh, and you can chime in anytime, sweet.
Hmm.
Uh, we would love a scan, my daughter and I. Perhaps you could pull out all the body pain, please, and thank you. Yeah, so there's Lynn, you're talking about body pain. So there's a lot of like body image shame in your family, and that literally comes from what Faye was talking about. Kids come, and in your case, for example, what happens is that to protect the girls from not doing crazy things, when they come into shape, when they come into after puberty, through the religions. It's like religious. You're going to go to hell. You're going to do this for all these sexual activities, and then literally shaming the girl who's coming into form, which is kind of crazy because it distorts you. How many women have gone through that? Where your parents trying to protect you, especially the father, they try to protect that girl by shaming their body, right? And again, that self-image destroys that girl. And then unfortunately, when that self-image is destroyed, then they go and attract fucked up relationships that will destroy them even more. Okay. So in your case, Lynn, that's what's basically happening. And that's the pain that you are all experiencing. And you might have not done that to your daughters, but I see a generation or two back that it was like severe religion that turned into, say, body shame, right? Which is, by the way, shameful for the religion because it's like God created everything in perfection. It's like, well, then the body shape of a woman God created. So why are you? And it goes much, much deeper. Extreme versions of that pattern would be, what do they call that? When they cut out the woman's clitoris and so on like that. In some of the not the Muslim countries, but mostly some of the Catholic countries, they literally cut out the clitoris and so on like that. It's like, well, wait, you're doing this because of religious reasons? It's like, what the fuck? Are you editing God's architecture? Right? That's basically what they're saying. Well, that's basically what you're doing. And then people will go, yeah, that's right, because you're not supposed to have pleasure. It's like, well, how did God create such an intricate system for you to have pleasure? So again, all that bullshit. So that's what, by the way, Lynn, by the way, that's what we're going to be talking about in the XI, when going deep into the core, not just like we want women's rights. This is, it's like, that's fucked up. We want to go because we are all part of the problem. We need to clean ourselves up. Okay. And how many people are ready to step into going, yeah, okay, I was part of that consciousness. I want to out. Okay. The way to do that is not by choosing up here, by changing your frequency. Right? So that's what XI is literally about. Joy, XI would love a scan. For you, Joy, you seem to have, say, a masculine frequency. You're always like dominating or pushing yourself into, say, spaces, to feel heard, to feel right. Um, which again, so it becomes intense for you, or it becomes other intense for other people. And maybe it seems like from childhood, you say didn't have a voice, or your mother didn't see you, or your mother was like really preoccupied. Okay. So again, a lot of times when we see this in Love Yours 311, as we go on, take a breath in. And by the way, as I read you, scan you, I'm helping you edit not just your frequency, not the person that I'm, not just the person that I'm reading, but anybody who runs those kind of patterns. Okay. This one, Love Yours 311. I am, yes. So in your case, I think you've grown out of it. Uh, from what I'm seeing, which is great. Congratulations, probably through XI, you've grown out of it. But this is where, say, the mother was indecisive on having you or not, right? Maybe that's why I picked you up. So, if you don't mind me reading you, is literally is where you get pregnant by accident. Oh, she was an accident. It's like, well, God, what does that do to the kid's resonance in the womb? It's like, shit, am I supposed to be here? Right? That's kind of crazy, right? But that imprint is within the womb now. It's in the architecture of how that kid sees themselves. Oh, she was an accident. Right? So even if you love that child, say the pain of that accident, should I have this kid? Should I almost abort the kid? All those patterns again are built within the consciousness of that person, and that person and that is what say destroys the essence of that identity. It's crazy. Is circumcision religious? Um, it's kind of a bit of both. Circumcision actually is well, it's cleaner. Back in the day, there probably was a lot of infections, and they didn't have antibiotics and so on like that. So in some religions, especially in the say the Muslim religion, they used to do that because again a lot of infections and so on. So they would go, hey, let's just cut the tip off, and so it's a lot cleaner. It stays a lot cleaner, healthier for you. Okay. Now it could probably be a choice because of the bacteria, but who knows? Maybe people aren't as hygienically clean, and things get diseased down there, or all that stuff. So even for women, you need to keep yourselves hygienically clean, with or without religions, basically. So this one, VBOS, uh, I would have, I would love a scan on my mom who has 11 kids and our relationship. So VBOS, again, you seem like you're out. You are an observer of your kids, of the children around you. So you always feel disconnected because maybe there wasn't enough love to go around. Your mom was like preoccupied. And why does she have 11 kids in the first place? It's not because it's like, oh, we need more kids, we need love in the family. It's because there was, say, a sense of lack of love in the family. And this is what I talked about earlier, where it's like, well, you know what, if we have another kid, it'll solve our problem. So it's like, well, every time we have deep problems, well, let's have a kid. It's that kind of pattern, unfortunately. So this is like what's like for you, VBoss, and that's what you're coming into, XI. So congratulations. This is where it's like, gosh, you know what? I actually feel love, and you don't need to feel broken or disconnected or wait for things. All right. So really nice. Again, if you see anything, sweetie,
Mhm.
step in.
Oh, I was just thinking about all these emotions that women are feeling. They're not very pleasant emotions. For example, shame. How XI women program. First of all, I don't even like to call it a program. It's almost like this. Everything's all in passing. There's no beginning, no ending. There's really not like a finite thing, but it's just something we forever will. It's a working process. But anyway, on the subject of shame, this is how we're designing one aspect of the process in the XI woman process. For example, it's a shame. We talk about the magic and the functionality and the spirituality of the womb earlier. Mas was talking about how womb is a place where it has a genetic and spiritual coding. And in the coding, shame is one of the program. It's passing down through generations. If you look in the chart, your grandparents, there's 4 people or 8 people, and by the 18th generation, down the 18th generation, there's over 1 million people around that created you 18 generations
It's a lot of
later.
shame.
Yeah. So yes. So when you were born from the womb with the coding, is you carry your mother's shame, your grandmother's guilt, her mother's sorrow, her mother's pain, and her mother loneliness, and then their grandmother's fear. So you carry so much. So what we do here in the XI Women is um, once a month or so, periodically, would pick out the wound from the mother, the wound from the generations of the distortion and the programming. It's just, for example, shame. So we take out shame, and from shame, we all can feel there is a connect, the frequency connect all of it to understand this level of consciousness, why we're even here. And then we take it to, but there's no shaming the shame. We just acknowledge it's there. It's step one. It's acknowledgement, awareness. And step number two, you look at the shame just in right now in your current reality, in present reality, where you have shamed yourself, where you have shamed others. What's your complementary frequency to even feel this emotional charge? And what is it that you can do? What's in you that brought even more shame or perpetuate into the future, into the next generation, or in yourself, how you talk to yourself, what do you think about yourself, what's your self-image, what's your self-worth, what is everything that you have done in your own reality, how you can take your own personal accountability to keep shame alive, and what is the complementary frequency. Once things come into awareness, sometimes they just evaporate and sometimes they just shift. And then MOS will come in with the XI frequency, hyper meditation. First step is awareness. Second step is acknowledgement and healing. And then he'll come in with this massive, expansive frequency to take it to the whole other level, which is the opposite of shame, is the dignity. So, and of course, higher level of understanding and awareness of who you really are is a remembrance. It's not shame, but dignified
Yeah,
spirit.
like this one here, J Tyson 378. Moss would love scan. Would you scan my mom? Uh, she's in a nursing home, still burdened, depressed, and angry, and in pain. Help let go and find more joy in her acceptance. My positive energy and her attitude has always clashed. My positive energy and her attitude has always clashed. Yeah, exactly. So in that case, your mom, despite her age, she's actually stuck at in her late 30s, early 40s, because, well, she was supposed to have, say, a certain type of life that she wanted, and she was younger, obviously in her teens and 20s, and it's like, yep, I'm getting that life. And then as she got older and older, that idea or concept of life goes, shit, I'm not getting it. And then by the time she's like 40, it's like, fuck. Okay. So she probably got married or whatever, divorced or whatever, around that time, from what I'm seeing. And she just like basically repeated 40. So although she might be in her 80s or 90s, she basically repeated 40. It's like, where's my life? What did God do to my life? Why isn't God coming? Why isn't somebody saving me? Why isn't this happening? And a lot of people do that. It's like they didn't expect what to happen. It's like, no, fuck, I'm not going forward anymore in time, and they just literally just stopped. So she's still like a 40-year-old inside, going, "Hey, now I'm in a nursing home. I'm close to death, and I didn't experience the life." Right? That's sad. What you're carrying, by the way, yes, you have a positive attitude, uh, your positive energy, sure, but through XI, again, because you have a positive energy, the reason for that is because you don't want to be like your mom. So you're referencing your mom's, say, distortions to create energy. So the more, say, positive energy that you want from yourself, the more distortions that you would have to create. Okay, because it's all math, by the way. Right? Faye does a great job at doing the love side, and all that. I do a great job at say, okay, let's create the science behind it so it's long term, long lasting. So again, in your case, and the same thing with wealth, same thing with anything. Right? If you're say referencing um, distortion to create your wealth, if you're referencing distortion to create your happiness, in this case, if you're referencing, say, the negative energy of your family to go, I'm positive. Again, the more positive you want, the more negative it'll have to be because it's a harmonized, say, reality here. In this case, what I was helping you with is like, wait a second, you know what patterns am I carrying within me that's from my mom's or my dad's or family value structure, like Faye was talking about. Again, you're bringing a lot there, right? So what do I need to delete from internally where I can just naturally stay buoyant, stay, say, positive energy without always having to replenish? Because that's what you do. You always go, okay, the next day I got to do this, and kind of like a Tony Robbins thing, I got to get motivated. I got to be that gladiator. I got to amp myself up for 3 hours in the morning to get to that level. It's like, well, why not just delete all those things that are holding you back at a lower level? Okay, and that's what I was helping you with. So, and with your mom, basically, as you clean up, this is the beauty, this is the best gift you can give to your parents. Clean yourself up. Okay. It doesn't matter if it's their problem, their fault, or whatever. You probably have a resonant frequency inside you. Go, hey, what is that? What am I part of? What part of the equation am I? I want to delete that, give that up. It's true forgiveness. Okay. If you want to forgive your parents, if you want to forgive yourself and move forward, when you clean that up, it gives your mom a chance to go, okay, That's what, and then the rest of her life that she has left, she can actually enjoy the possibilities of what could be rather than going in lament as she crosses over. Okay, really, really important to clean this stuff up. Otherwise, we'll just, we'll just perpetuate that. So,
Okay, well, very quickly, I'm
go
going
ahead.
to say something about parents, mother. There's a saying that if you think you're highly evolved, go home to your parents for a day to see how far you've come. And I have used that for myself for years. I used to get triggered by my parents really quickly, and I was just using that as a measuring stick to see how far I've come. And there are times because I'm traveling a lot, I'm living in the different cities, and there are times something I've really evolved. So I will go home to my parents within few seconds. I got triggered. So okay, good. There is still means still there's still work to do. And over the years, I have really noticed the better I've grown, the more mature I've gotten, the better relationship I have with my parents. So this, let it be a gauge for you as well. You think you have evolved, you think you have come far in XI, go home to your parents and see how far you've really come.
Yeah. This one is from Brooke. Brooke Alana. I observed such brilliance with me and my children and the insights. I would love would like a scan. Yeah. So again, you're coming into say the brilliance of what they are, what they could be, the brilliance of possibilities, of what you could be, actually nurturing yourself back in the day. So again, through XI, congratulations, Brooke. Take a breath in. We'll just take you deeper. Where again, you're not for you, you're just like, yeah, I've observed it, I'm there, but how about if we just like step into it and own it completely? Okay, there's a bit of shame in you, Brooke, for some reason about stepping in and owning and claiming your power, and that passes on to your kids as well. So let's just get rid of that, where you just it's like, damn, I am the brilliance. I'm not observing it, I am the brilliance. I'm inside this bubble of brilliance, and that's what's really important. And again, the same thing with what Faye was saying, about referencing. Somebody was commenting about referencing. She was always referencing how happy she is compared to, say, the distortions of her past. But then once she released that, it was quite amazing from an outside perspective. Her parents like dramatically changed as well, as she changed. So again, guys, it's not about they need to fix themselves first. I need them to give me an apology before. That's bullshit, guys. They did their best, or maybe they didn't. It doesn't really matter. When I'm with my kids, it's like, hey, especially like Alex, who's running the show now. Thanks, buddy. It's like, I go to him or any of the kids, but and I go, fuck, Alex, I did this and I fucked up, man. And it's like, damn. So we both learn from the experience. So he doesn't have to go through that experience. Most parents, will hide that, and most parents will want them to be so perfect for their parents, for their kids. Don't do that, guys. Right? If you fucked up, it's like, hey, Alex, God, I did this and shit, I fucked up, did it wrong, you know. And so that's why we work together. Construction or building the house, whatever. It's like, fuck, Dad, you fucked up. It's like, yeah, I know, I cut that damn thing too short. You just immediately, and you acknowledge that you made mistakes. Right? Most people in parent-child situation, they won't acknowledge the mistake because they think that there should be a perfect icon for their children. Don't do that, guys. That's one of the worst things. Okay, be that fuck up that you are, and then you get to clean up really well. Okay, show the distortions that you are, show the incompleteness that you are, and it helps them go, oh yeah, okay, oh yeah, I see. It points out the distortions that they're carrying for you as well. Right? And then when they clean up, they help you clean up. You clean up. It's like it's a beautiful mixture. Right? All right. Just one more. Fefe, do you have anything else? Or otherwise,
No, no, you can just scan.
okay. Uh, thank you for all that you do. This one, BMOS. I was noticing the conclave and the new pope and the stark absence in imagery. Yep. Uh, a lot of transformations there. Uh, oh yeah, yes, and worse is blaming the kids for their distortions. Exactly, exactly. This one, Linda, as we end here. Kamarj, scan me, please, please. Yes. So Linda, for you, you seem like, I don't know how old you are, but you seem like you're always a little kid wanting acceptance. Okay. And this feels like could be a father frequency. I'm just seeing a masculine frequency. So it could be your mom. Uh, if your mother was, say, a masculine figure, so I just see a masculine frequency, and you never were accepted. So you're always going, "Hey, look at me, look at me. Would you please look at me?" That kind of frequency for you, Linda. You don't have to do that anymore, because when you're running that frequency, people will always think less of you. Right. So again, it's you that's causing the distortions. I'm not blaming you for that, and you shouldn't blame yourself either, because there's a lot of blame in you as well. Okay. I'm just saying that that's the frequency that you're running. Take control of it. Now that you know, and I'll help you. Take a breath in, Linda, and just notice your neck. I think you have neck issues as well, from what I'm seeing. Yeah, upper shoulder neck issues. Um, uh, but again, it's always like, can you please look at me? Can you please give me some attention? Okay. And then whether it's an intimate relationship, a career, God, whatever, it's like, you know, you're, it's like you're always less than, your counterpart, basically. In this case, what I'm doing is like shifting that for you, shifting that frequency where you go, you know what? I don't need acceptance from those people to make me myself feel good. Okay? I can feel good on my own, right? I can feel fantastic on my own. And then I can just hang around with people that are that same level, and they make me feel good. I make them feel good. It's not acceptance, right? So it's like I am an individual who is valued at a deep intrinsic level. If I'm here, if you're living, guys, you have deep intrinsic value. Okay? No, nobody should take that away from you. Okay. All right. There's so much more information, guys. So again, comment in, like this video so we can produce more for you. Look out for the XI women. Oh, also the forgiveness for peak performance. Okay? If you really want to outdo life, if you really want to expand, again, forgiveness for peak performance. That's coming up. Do you know when?
June 9th. Oh, no,
June.
no, sorry. May 21st. It's a kiddo's birthday.
Yeah, May 21st, that's coming up, guys. This will allow you to forgive the proper way. Let go. Because if you're carrying that baggage into your success, into your spiritual journeys, into your psychedelic journeys, and plant medicine journeys and all that stuff, it's a lot of burden, guys. So forgiveness for peak performance coming up for you guys on the 21st, to let go of all that stuff. So again, you can expand the possibilities of who you are, not expand the bullshit that you're not. All right, guys. So with that in mind, again, notice what you notice. Peace. Thanks.
Happy Mother's Day.